we met with one investor a couple weeks ago who said, so who are you trying to kill? Who are you trying to disrupt? What company are you trying to destroy? And we said, really, we look at our main competitor as pen and paper. There's nobody, there are many companies in the travel space, but we feel like there's nobody really working within the industry. Everyone's trying to kind of disrupt it or create a new industry. Or they're working with really large companies, which are great for these really high volume activities like the hop-on, hop-off buses and Madame Tussauds Wax Museum and things like that, but nobody's really aggregating the long tail. So really our biggest challenge is aversion to technology. Under 5% of our guides have iOS. So it's not like we can just build an app and get this in everybody's hands. We have guides who use email but would rather be contacted through their cell phones. That's a huge challenge. So even though we're based in San Francisco, we are a global-minded company. And we realize that the world is not Silicon Valley. And the world's not just a bunch of early adopters that are just jumping on new technology the way that San Francisco is. So I think that there are pros about being based in San Francisco, but I think that when we're working with guides in Japan and guides in London and guides in Rio de Janeiro, it's impossible to say that there's one piece of technology that everyone's going to use the same way. I think that's exactly the pros and the cons of running a global business. Cons, obviously, it's difficult with the time zones. It's difficult, in terms of communication, and it's difficult to build any business, but especially technology, and understand how people from different cultures are going to use it. But I also think that those are pros, and we obviously see a lot more pros than cons to running a company like this, which is about localization. So we're here in London, we're meeting with the Blue Badge guides, we're meeting with people in the British government, and we're really able to understand the specific needs of Blue Badge guides and of the tourism industry here in London, and that's different than the tourism industry in Tokyo. But we also have people in Tokyo that are working with the government and the Japanese Guide Association there. So really, we see key to our business is localization. Understanding the similarities between guides and tourism infrastructures around the world, but also understanding the differences and being able to accommodate those in what we've built. We're bootstrapped. We launched officially end of January. We launched a limited beta end of January, and then we officially launched mid-April. We're scaling fast. We're doing really well in terms of tripling our bookings each month. Our guides are increasing about 129%, month over month. And we're looking at doubling, probably to 12, we're in 6 markets right now. We're looking at being in 12 to 15 markets by this time next year. And within 2 years, 80 markets are worldwide in 10 different language pairs. So a Russian tourist going to Brazil who's really interested in surfing can take a surf tour of secret beaches in Brazil from a Russian-speaking guide. And right now, as you can imagine, from the guide's perspective, a Russian-speaking guide in Brazil who loves surfing and has a specialty of surfing, it's very difficult for them to connect with like-minded tourists. So in the future, we're really looking at having every interest, every language pair. And we're raising a seed round right now. And based on the fact that we are a very global company, we're raising money from around the world. And we think that that is really important to be able to kind of have these connections to our different markets. I think that for a lot of industries, the web is dead. If I start a small cafe or a flower shop across the street, it's kind of pointless for me to develop a crappy website. It's far more important these days for me to have a Facebook page and a Yelp page. And that includes reviews, recommendations, menus, hours, social interaction, SEO. There's really no reason for me to go out and hire a designer to build a bad website. there's no added value there. So for our thousands and thousands of guides that we're looking at and talking to worldwide, we don't see that there's any reason that they need to have their own websites, especially when they're not web designers, right? For the most part, they're tour guides. So our platform is essentially their new website. In fact, a lot of our guides, we're making them business cards that say anyroad.com/their name. And people go to their profile, they can customize their profile, they can see all the tours that are offered, they can go ahead and put in their credit card, knowing that they can trust it because we have reviews, recommendations built in, and they're professional tour guides, not random people off the street who are leading activities, and really book any of these tours. So already we're starting to kind of aggregate the long tail of all the most interesting guides around the world. A George Harrison song, actually. If you don't know where you're going, AnyRoad will take you there.